All right, hi, I'm Sakwa, and welcome to Fix It. Today, we are talking about life and life in so many other spheres that it continues to unfold. And one thing about I love about this life that we live, it's that it's organic. It doesn't have a script, and we go through experiences that just shapes who we are. But you know what? I want to focus on the word called betrayal. That rings a bell, betrayal.
Yes, it does.
Right. I feel like all of us have been through betrayal in either could be work, relationship, family, or a friendship. But there are a lot of people dismiss friendships. Do you know friendships lead to work? Friendships can lead to a marriage. A friendship can lead to betrayal. A friendship can lead to even injury. There's people who've been permanently injured by friendships, and this was as a result of what? The word back again, betrayal. So let me give you a short story. Have you ever found yourself in an incident or gone through an experience where you started a project or you invested in something and gave it your 100%? Could have been with a friend or even your partner. So you guys started the project, and then there's always surprises sometimes. I don't know what usually happens to people. You officially agree, we will do A, B, C, D. You start, and then the devil just comes in. But sometimes you blame the devil too much. I don't know if it's just the person's behavior or just a person goes through an experience and then all of a sudden they go missing in action. You try calling, no response. Email, no response. Text, no response. And then the amount, for example, the amount of, let's say the amount of trust you've built together and the way you relate with each other. Like you can't even believe that this person would do you like this. And that's what I call being done dirty. I don't know if you've ever been done dirty. Like your worst nightmare. This
For
person,
Yes,
you built
I
a
have.
relationship with together. You became friends. But also one thing about friendship that I learned is, sometimes we force friendship because you might like this person maybe because of the first impression. Maybe they look good, or maybe they've portrayed this personality or this picture. They have it all, together. But kumbe this person is just in a mess. And the moment you guys start working on something, that's when all these red flags start coming in. I don't know if you'd agree with me that there's usually
I totally agree with you. It does happen. Maybe if I can give my experiences, or maybe just to give a conclusion, I think it arises because out of jealousy.
yeah,
Like this thing might appear too good,
right,
the other person might feel like if I continue with it,
yeah,
and definitely it will benefit you more than him or the other person, and then
yeah,
this will definitely lead to some instances of them ghosting or
yeah.
just turning their backs on you. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you because why? But then my question again to you is, why should you feel jealous when we are doing this project together? See, it's me and you. We're doing this project, or we are working on this. When we get fruits, will definitely be the two of us who are going to harvest and enjoy them. So why should you have a second thought when initially we started this thing together and all of a sudden something just poisons your mind and you feel like, let me cut it off because this person is going to enjoy more than I am? Don't you think there's something off about that part?
Well, definitely when you look at it, even from the beginning, humanity is always off, like from the word go.
Yeah.
And it's just human nature to have. If you go unchecked and just live as a human being, just without constantly questioning yourself and your actions, then you will learn that inherently you are not a good person. Like human beings are not good people.
Oh
So
my
it's just
goodness.
human nature.
That's a that's a shocking discovery. One thing about me is that I trust people too much. And I think maybe that's another solution to healing or maybe avoiding such similar experiences like the example I've given you. You start something with someone together, you trusted them, you invested in them. This could even be a relationship. Those people who do projects with their other half or your
Like
hubby,
my
your
partner
husband,
or
wifey.
yeah.
girlfriend, boyfriend, and then all of a sudden, they go missing with the project and they'll be like, but you are my girlfriend. You are my darling. Why? But then I'm also asking, when two lovers are working on a project, why should there be betrayal? Why should there be betrayal? Because in the first place, you guys are dating or you guys are living together. Not even living together. You guys have built a solid relationship. And then all of a sudden, this person just disappears because of the project. Then that's a big red flag that should have been identified even before you guys reunited and started dating or even, had this project going on. Don't you feel like, some of these things crop up because we ignored the red flags in the beginning? There's a song by Ruga that says, you ignored the red flags, baby. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yes, I do understand. And it's, the telltale signs, like before you get into a business, there's always a saying that says, never mix pleasure with business. So before you get into a business relationship with your other significant other, then it has to be something that you two know that it's not gonna come in between your relationship, or your relationship's not come in between your business, because it's a really thin line
between business and pleasure and relationship. But let me challenge you. We have our Hindu, but they're now like a part of the Kenyan tribe. We are 45 tribes that are now we are almost heading to. It's like, the counties in the local 47. Okay, we are almost reaching 50 tribes, and the Hindus. I love the fact that they were included in this current government. They are part of like a Kenyan community. So their businesses operate from family to family. It's like a sister inherited brother's business, mother's business, grandpa. But then I've not seen them complain. Why is it us Africans, and especially Kenyans, and now me and you, we have to experience this dirty part of, relationships and networking? Why can't it just be an open thing? Your family or your friend, let's keep the trust and let's keep the bond. But then, like you mentioned, I think the biggest problem or the missing link here, or the pill that everybody should swallow, if it was to be bought, please, I'm going to buy it, is a pill called trust. And I believe betrayal happens as a result of, lack of trust and transparency, and just the honesty. And also, if you're a person of integrity, if you feel like you don't want to work with someone, you should just tell them, manze, yes, we are partners, but I feel like we are too close, like we are too much. We are in each other's business. We need to take a break. And that scares me when you're in a relationship and your other person tells you, we need to take a break. I'm like, bro, why are we resting? Why should we take a break from each other? Then that shows that there was toxicity in the first place in that relationship. If you guys have to take a break from each other, I don't know if you've had a personal experience or even had a story of, people taking a break from each other because they were too toxic, extremely too toxic for each other. And this includes trust. Now it's coming in.
So is the toxicity brought about by the lack of trust? Or?
Yes, the lack of trust, and this other person's just strange behavior. Everyone has their own weird ways. Me too. I'm very weird. I have my own weird ways. And you realize that the moment of the day you start dating or you enter into a serious relationship with someone, there's usually that first impression. Whenever you guys are going for those first dates, everybody's an angel. You guys are so happy for each other. Nobody's showing the ugly side. But the moment you guys, once after you've had intimacy, oh my goodness, should I just say, if you guys have already had coitus and you're like, I feel like I don't want to stay here anymore. You start showing this person a side of you that they never imagined. An angel like you would have such a side.
Turns into a devil overnight.
What is it, by the way? Shida ni gani?
Well, I don't know, like for it has happened to everyone.
Yeah.
And this always boils down to that term that is quite famous, like ulikuwa character developed, character development.
Character development.
If you look at all those cases, those are just cases that are going to show you that revolve around betrayal.
Yeah.
So betrayal then leads to you being character developed. So everyone has been character developed. So it gives and shows you that inherently human beings have something.
Yeah, like everybody has a side that
Yes.
they don't show.
That they don't show, and that they constantly keep on checking, that if goes unchecked, then it has its own life and can lead to worse things. And I think this is why we had like wars back in the day, and you know, colonialism. You know, just think of all the chauvinistic things like men did back in the day. You know, like coming into a whole area and wiping out people with diseases. Just goes to show you the nature of the human
nature. I read somewhere that that the truest form of a human being is their evil side. I saw it recently on X. It was among 10 things that you should know about a human being, or you should know about human life. And I'm still thinking about that now that you brought it up. And also that side of you that you don't show the most, that is the realest part of you. Like that side that you hide, that you don't show people. But I understand everybody has like three sides. There's that side that you show your closest people, and that's your family. There's that side that you give to your friend, and that side that you have for yourself. So probably people could be having even more than three sides. There's a side they show to another friend, a side they show to a lover, a side they show to their cousin, a side that they show to their place of work. So human beings are just, unpredictable. Right?
True.
Oh my goodness.
And
then it's difficult to trust someone who's unpredictable though.
Yeah. You see, that's the thing, because you can't really tell that this person is unpredictable until you know them. And then once you get to know them, you get character developed. So it's a whole process. You just have to go through it, because there's no label written in the front of a person's face, like, don't trust me, or like, I'm this. You see, like, you just have to get in there and, learn on the job,
Oh my goodness. I think that is the most hurtful experience anyone can ever have. Like you mentioned, learning on the job. It's like you made me remember somebody who was called for a radio job, and they didn't have any journalistic experience, and they had to learn on it, and then they became a gangster at it. I think now for relationships that also lead to work, I think the thin line is, this one has more of like a romantic or a mutual, exchange or mutual energy, and work is like it's just dry personality. But there's those people who extend mutual energy and almost romantic, a sense of romance to their workspace. But for me, I'd be blown away. Like I'd be blown away by that kind of energy if it's at the workplace, because I'll definitely be uncomfortable. I don't know if how would you feel? You come to work every day and there's always someone who has this kind of sexual advances. So they praise you too much. They're always saying hello too much.
They could be your superiors,
Right. Or they touch you too much. You know those people who are touchy. By the way, I'm very uncomfortable with extra touch. Personally, I don't touch people. Okay, for real, I'm sorry. Somebody says, hata uniguze, tafadhali. Hapana. I'm really uncomfortable with people who talk, akikuongelesha lazima, like too much touching is just uncomfortable. And as if it's happening in workspaces, but I think there's people who genuinely touch. You can tell a genuine touch of a person who is innocently doing it, and a person who is doing it with some form of, attitude and energy. You're like, bro, manze,
I bring your attention to a case that happened over the past few months, where we had a former foreign affairs minister, Alfred Mutua, and during diplomatic occasions, you could see him touching other delegates, which is undiplomatic. Like, you shouldn't be touching people in diplomatic events.
Set up.
Yes. So you see, like, with that kind of scenario, it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
Especially diplomatically, if you're not conversant with the language. So touch becomes abusive, sort of.
Right. Yeah. And it's just awkward, I'd say sometimes it's just awkward moments. I don't know if sometimes when you're speaking to a stranger for the first time, and maybe this is a person of such a huge rank in society, or whoever they are, professionally, or what they're known for, and you're there as a guest, or maybe as a person scheduled to even meet them, say hello, and have like a social exchange. And then you have to also have a certain personality that you're going to present to them so that you become, likable because of the first impression. So you might also never know if this guy was innocently trying to just create a rapport, because there's people who are difficult to create a conversation, because we have to work together, we have to talk to each other. And so if he was genuinely doing it, I think that's a different story. But like you mentioned, I think for such a setup where you're meeting these high ranking officials and these big figures, there should be like a code of conduct, so that you don't express yourself in an awkward manner, or look unprofessional, or look like you had advances or something, because people can tell about body language. Actually, people read. Nowadays, people, like, somebody would just see you through and be like, nope, I know you're up to something and I don't want to do it. People can read through the lines very fast.
Oh, yes.
And it comes off very awkward and just stale. But then in places of work, for a man, I think for men it's a little bit different. When a lady keeps on touching you, you're like, hey, wow, she likes me.
There's something
she likes
here,
me, yeah.
Having imaginations and stuff.
But for me, no. Whether male or female, don't touch me. I'm really uncomfortable. Very. But
does that lead to some form of betrayal if you judge someone and then
exactly
do that? Do you feel betrayed?
No, I don't think I'd feel betrayed though. But I'm just it will start making me feel resentful, because if we know each other, and then maybe you put your arms around me, I think that's cool. But for the first time we are meeting and you're putting your arms around me. I've never met you. We've never talked. I even don't know what you do, and then you just, even you'll not feel good.
It definitely I will.
You'll not feel good. And then imagine, let's say for example, you're walking in the elevator and then you bump into this 3 or 4, 5 bunch of ladies, and they start giving you compliments in the elevator, and they start touching you. They say, oh, by the way, I like your beard. Oh, I like your shoes. I don't think, but I think it will also depend with the person. There's people who will be totally off like me, no. Because I don't know what you guys are planning to do. Maybe mnanipeleka mahali kwa hii elevator. Ama you guys are trying to hypnotize me so that nipoteze my train of focus, and then tujikute somewhere in Koibatek.
So you can even see, like, from just what you've just said, like, you can see that you are not easily trusting, you see, like
trust.
Yeah, like you're not easily accommodating to people, just to touch you and to be open with you and all this stuff. So
yeah,
once trust is a very difficult thing. It's like a door, like it's very difficult to enter. And once you enter and you come out, then it's very difficult to come in again.
Yeah, because trust is built, and trust is built by, the other person's deeds, and my deeds. So it's not just like we met and then, but there's people who actually just meet. I don't know if those people that, stuck with my story, nakoitas, but anyways, people that have, like, you met someone at the club and you guys, just do the do. Day one. You don't even know the other person's name, the second name. Maybe hata amekwambia anaitwa Beyonce, like Beyonce, imagine such. So for me, trust is an expensive pill that I'm also building. But also trust, by the way, it has made me remember, there's this book I read. It's called, I think it's called The Spirit. No, it's called The 4 Types of Trust, or Types of Trust. She's Oprah Winfrey's best friend, and they used to have a show called Fix My Life. She's written a book, it could be from the spirit of a man, or maybe 4 Types of Trust, where she talks about the first trust is trusting in yourself. When you trust in yourself, then you build capacity to trust in God. And when you build capacity and that relationship of trusting in God, now you can start trusting other people. And when you trust in other people, now you trust the universe. And now everything that you need just starts coming to you. And that's when you'll start meeting genuine networks, genuine professions, projects go
genuine
successfully.
Connections. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like, you easily can be fluid with anyone you live around with, without, having a second thought like, hey, neighbor wangu yenyewe nimemove kwa hii apartment, but nashuku kwa nyumba, they do something awkward.
I like that.
I don't know if you
like
get
that.
what I'm saying.
I like that.
But then
Perfect.
for people that have been through abuse, especially maybe from now journeying back to like childhood traumas and friendships and family betrayal. Now still we're going back to betrayal, because when trust is broken, that's betrayal, right? So you realize when somebody say, I will never trust you again. Have I ever said that in my life, that I will never trust anyone again? I don't know. Have you ever said you will never trust anyone again? Who was it and what happened?
Most probably, you normally just say it kim moyo moyo, like internally,
Yeah.
but it's quite difficult to say it out loud to the person. But
That I will never trust anyone again.
But everyone has said it like to themselves. Like,
Yeah.
there's always that one person you're like, hey, hapa hapana.
Yeah. But what could make someone or a person say, I will never trust again, even on my last now? What could make someone say that?
Like broken vows, especially in marriages, and then like you just like a marriage is quite intensive, and then and expensive, and the thought of just breaking it through infidelity and stuff like that just shatters the other person or the receiving party, which totally can lead them to not trusting ever again. So it all depends on the circumstances. So I can just take marriage as an example.
Yeah, and I think I'll also use that, because for you to, by the time you're concluding that I'm finally married, a ring on it, walking down the aisle, you've invested a lot of time, a lot of money, like you said, and emotions. So when you're emotionally heartbroken, the trust is also broken. And even you experience a mental break. And there's people even who said that that was like a spiritual, betrayal, because marriage is a lot of work. I can only imagine, like you said, you had a big public wedding out there, published. A lot of people came to attend, your closest friends. And then kidogo kidogo, like 2 months down the line, you guys have divorced. Definitely that was broken of trust. Trust was broken. And maybe specifically because of infidelity.
Yeah.
And that's a very pill to swallow. Oh my goodness. Have you been through betrayal yourself? Have you survived it? Please. On this episode of Fix It, we are fixing betrayal. Talk to us at social media. All right, just right here. And the ones that have been running right here, please ensure that you give your feedback. And then in the next episode, you can also tell us what is your experience? What was the hardest thing that you had to go through and you finally did it, and you're like, oh my goodness, I will never again. So in the next episode, we'll be talking about love and pain right here on Fix It. So we'll definitely love to also see and hear your experiences. What is that one day that you fell in love and you're like, yes, Romeo and Juliet, and pain, the hardest thing for anybody right here on earth to endure?